Friends, we are living in the end times. The Bible states that knowledge will be increased at our times, which include the understanding of the Bible as well. Many people have contributed many things to that knowledge explosion. For example, a person named Steve Rudd extensively worked on the biblical genealogy and worked out the years of the births and the deaths of the biblical characters. Based on that, I am able to figure out the sequence of events and their approximate times in Indian mythology, because there are commonalities such as Noah's flood in the Bible as well as in the Hindu religion. From there, one can count on and figure out the time period of different events. Armed with that knowledge, I am revisiting the Tower of Babel today. Now, regarding the confusion of tongues at the Tower of Babel, the church has an old accepted version of the event, which is God confused the language and we ended up having many languages. But the truth doesn't seem to be so simple, because even before the Tower of Babel event, people had settled in many parts of the world. There were people in Africa, Greece, Sindh River Valley, India, as well as in China. These people were not affected by the confusion of tongues at the Tower of Babel. The Bible says that the whole world was speaking one language till then, and they continue to speak that language. I have proof for that. About 40 years after the Tower of Babel incident, the biblical Ham from Africa came to South India and people could communicate with him really well. Within another century, biblical Cush and his people moved into North India. They communicated well with the North Indians as well. Soon after that, Krishna was invited by the Pandya kings of South India as the chief guest to their conference, which they say was a Tamil conference. But I beg to differ, because I believe that Indians were still speaking the one original language of the world. In fact, Tamil literature states that kings from foreign lands attended these conferences. They didn't have any problem of communication either. Krishna, who was of African origin and had migrated from Mesopotamia from the city of Kish, could understand what they were talking about. Just for the time reference, it was just before the Mahabharata war, which occurred roughly around 2750 BC. However, the entire world was indirectly getting affected by the confusion of tongues. That is why they were holding these conferences to standardize communications and units of measurement so that they can continue to trade with one another. In all that I mentioned, I didn't talk about the written language yet. That is another confusion by itself. It's because everyone was developing their own scripts. Meanwhile, the fallen entities of Lucifer's abyss got involved in that process and gave grammar to different languages and cut off even the little ability humans still possess to communicate with other lands. The grammar to Tamil language was given by one such creature called Agastya, who was short and sported a tail like Hanuman. In the Near East, Oannes taught Sumerian and Allah taught Arabic language to the Arabians. Probably it was a non-standardized scripts fashioned by these so-called sages that separated cultures even further. Dividing and conquering is devil's own game, you see. So, in conclusion, even though the confusion of tongues affected the Near East and the surrounding regions, the evolution of languages is more complex than that. Now, the people who are building the Tower of Babel don't appear to be the locals. The Bible says that they journeyed from the east. before they arrived at the plain of Shinar. I have certain things to say about that in my next video. But for now, God bless you and thanks for watching.